our country, of our society. So, therefore, I feel that development of a society, a nation, and a world go hand in hand with the development of an individual. When a society, nation, world develops, means an individual develops, and vice versa. With the onset of 21st century, the entire world has witnessed an era of transformation in all the areas, whether it is education, world trade, economy, technology, or society. Recently, COVID-19, we all are witnessing what tough time it has given us. It is throwing up challenges for an individual to cope up with its impact. Naturally, for such times, a different set of skills are required to cope up and succeed in facing the challenges in real life. These different set of skills are the ability that today's student need to succeed, to face, and to move ahead in life, in their career, in this information age. Each skill is unique in how it helps a student, but they all have one quality in common. The skills are essential in this age of internet. So to start, we have divided this manual into 3 parts. And we three, me, Sushma ma'am, and Poonam ma'am, are going to cover some portions, right? 33. And we are going to explain what we have been able to understand in a very precise, in a very, you can say, clear manner. So, what are those areas that I would be speaking? They are components of 21st century skills. What are the components? Why do we need them? How can we implement them? What would be the outcome of learning those skills? Then what is the purpose? Why are we doing that? Some strategies, some CBSE conducted activities that I will be throwing light on. Okay, so let's begin. Give me a second. I will share the screen. Okay. I think Deepa ma'am, you will have to allow me to share the screen. Deepa ma'am, are you there?
Allowed, ma'am. Allowed, ma'am. You can do now.
Okay.
You are the host, ma'am.
No,
Okay,
I'll
see. No problem.
Okay, fine. It's okay. It's okay. Just few seconds. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. You can do now.
Okay, yeah. Fine. Where do we go and share the screen from? It's very much here. Can you all see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma'am, your screen is visible.
Just taking few seconds. Why is it taking so long? Yeah. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, as I said, am I visible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
fine.
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
as I was talking about the the components of 21st century skills, generally it has been divided into three learning skills. They are learning skills, literacy skills, 3 L's, learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. Now, there are some components in learning skills, some in literacy, and some are in life skills. We must understand what are those areas where we will have to put focus on. Now, learning skill has 4 C's. Those 4 C's depict the critical thinking, creativity and innovation, collaboration, and communication. Literacy skill has all the three skills that are information, media, and technology. And life skills, there are many of them. During the CBSE workshops also, we have understood basically by WHO, they are consist in 10 major life skills. So here they talk about, they have given a short form as FLEX. That is the flexibility and adaptability, leadership and responsibility, initiative and self-direction, productivity and accountability, social and cross-cultural interaction. Now, as I said, learning skill has 4 C's. They are all these that I have already told you. Now, what is critical thinking? How do we understand a child? How can we inculcate? And how do we know that a child is a critical thinker? Critical thinking is the capability of analyzing of information and includes the following quality. That is, a person who is critical thinker should be fair and open-minded, should be active, and being informed means he's aware of the things. He should be willing to question, right, or entertain doubts of people in case they put in front of him. Being independent, who recognizes and assesses the values, peer pressure, and the media influences for a creative understanding of critical thinking. These are the basic ingredients of a critical thinker. Now, what is the problem solving? Definitely a child, a person whom we make to face the problem and then solve them. Identify relevant piece of information. Okay, fine. This is what the information is, and whether it is right or wrong, able to discard information that may not be useful to the child or may not be useful to some of the case. So, new information, finding out, and finally relating one set of information to the another. Maybe when a child is given some kind of work, he is able to find one type of solution, but suddenly he realizes that there can be a chance of another solution. So he should be able to resolve his problem if it arises in front of him. Now, creativity and innovation, that is the next C. These are the skills to explore and create fresh ways of.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am.
Yeah.
I had joined by taking the help of my husband, Mr. Amit Sinha, as my mobile is not working properly. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So creativity refers to new way of seeing or doing things and includes 4 components. How we judge a person's creativity and innovation. A person generates new idea, a person who can shift his perspective, a person who can conceive something new, who can understand in a very different prospect, and who can elaborate or build on others' ideas. It is not necessary that he is independently and working only with one idea of issue, but then these skills for thinking creatively to develop something new, unique, improved, and distinctive. Collaboration, of course, we inculcate the skills in our students to collaborate, come together, work in groups, and learn side by side. Generally, the art integration document says this, that it is very important that a teacher divides the class into small little groups of 4 to 5 and then assign them some small topics so that the children can work together, they can learn team spirit, and they can come out with something constructive and good. Communication, because a person, a child, we are supposed to make possible to speak, to express, to elaborate, to apprehend, and to present his opinion. Now we come to the second component, that is the literacy skill, that is information, media, and technology literacy. The child in today's world needs to be updated with all these skills, and they are the most important tools, right? As we all are also learning at this age, how to take online meetings. I'm giving this presentation. Teachers are making their lesson plans. They are making their PPTs. These are all very important. I think in 32 years, this is the first time that I have learned these kind of things, and I'm implementing them into my day-to-day life. So now it is the need of the hour that all our children should be informed, have the information literacy, media, and technology. Now, this is the third component of 21st century skills. They need flexibility and adaptability. We inculcate the leadership qualities and sense of responsibility in them. They are able to take initiative and they are able to take decision for themselves, for their action. They are able to produce the results and they are accountable. Even if they have made some mistakes, they should be confident enough to even own their mistakes. Social and cross-cultural interaction is very, very important.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Ma'am, please allow me Pooja Sinha in the meeting. I'm trying many times. Sorry, ma'am.
Pooja, you are disturbing too much in the meeting. If you are
Yeah.
already joined with your
Actually,
husband's
ma'am, in
mobile,
internet issue,
it is enough.
internet issue
So
is
please
there.
don't disturb in between. No, you do
Sorry,
whatever
ma'am.
you're feeling like doing. Just don't
Ma'am,
break the flow of the
ma'am,
thing. No,
because
you are,
of sorry, ma'am,
whatever it is.
because of
Anyway,
the internet issue, ma'am.
it's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. Fine.
So,
Please
it's my
report to
last
your,
request, ma'am.
yeah, report to
Thank
your
you.
principals and things if you are not able to do that. You are
No,
not
no,
answerable
sorry,
to
ma'am.
me, baby.
Sorry,
Anyway,
ma'am. Sorry,
so
sorry, ma'am.
now, so these were the components that very briefly I tried to explain, I tried to put, and we all are aware of it. We all know it, that yes, we need to inculcate these things in our classroom situations. Now, why do we need this 21st century skills? It is something very, very important that we must understand that WHO, OECD, these are the organizations in the world who are taking care of human developments. OECD is an organization for economic cooperation and development in the world. This is a global organization and it works to build new, better policies and make sure that people have better life. They believe that today, because of the rapid economic and social changes, schools have to prepare their students for the jobs. And what kind of jobs? That they have not yet been created, the technologies that have not yet been invented, and problems that we don't yet know will arise. So imagine the kind of efforts that we as teachers, we as school have to take to make our students, our children, the future generation of our country updated with these kind of skills. Now, what would be the outcome of this? The outcome of 21st century skills would be that they will have a lot of experiential learning. They will imbibe all these observing, understanding, practicing, and experiencing. They would be experiencing all this in the classroom situation, in their life. This generally has been divided into two groups. That is, through the subjects, they will learn certain skills, and through the themes, they will learn certain skills. So what are those subjects? We all are aware. We generally teach 2 languages, then arts, geography, history, mathematics, science. All through these, we are learning something or the other if a teacher is little cautious, little aware of the kind of skills which are existing in this manual. So they can make a lot of difference. They can really teach a subject with imbibing the different kind of skills into our students. The themes, they include the global awareness. We give children so many projects these days. ISA involves a lot of activities that we are connecting with different countries, and we are making projects, we are making presentations, we are interacting with global children in different schools. Then the child, we are also starting, CBSE has already started certain subjects, skill subjects from class 6th onwards. But 9th onwards, as we all know, that even in this SST, economics was included a few years back. Otherwise, it used to be history, civics, and geography. So just to make the children aware of the financial, economic, business, and entrepreneurial literacy, they have civic literacy. They should be aware of complete health literacy, and of course, the environmental literacy. We have been celebrating the Earth Days and anti-pollution days and planting the trees and all those kind of activities we do. So that gives them an awareness and knowledge about the environmental literacy. Now, what would be the outcome of 21st century skills? If we see in the broader prospect, it would be that a person is able to do effective reasoning. He can use system and process with intelligence. He is a rational thinker. He can judge things and take decisions on any issue. He can think creatively. He works creatively with others. He implements innovations. A child who is updated with the skills can collaborate with others. He can communicate well. Information literacy, media and technology literacy, he is fully aware of. He is ready to change. Now, these are the all broader outcomes that years after years after years, if we keep on implementing them in our, from the very small age till class 12, a child is the same. That would be the end result, and that would be our product, that when the child goes out of the school after 12, that is where then he will, all these skills will be useful to him to manage goals, time, work independently, self-directed. He's self-directed, he manages projects, given tasks to him, and he gives result. His effective interaction, he does working in a team, and diversity. These are the broader outcomes of 20. Now, these strategies and activities, of course, are blended with all the subjects, as I already discussed with you. They are all passed on in this classroom transaction, and they can conduct it in zero period. We can plan our school timetable and our school curriculum in such a way that we have at least 40 to 45 minutes, 5 minutes from each period, and can combine this 40-45 minutes in one go, either at the end of the school or in the beginning of the school, and try to do related activities, because only bookish knowledge is not enough in all the subjects. It is also to be performed. It is also to be performed and taught on the ground through the activities. And when will we do that? We do not get extra time. So we will have to take out that extra time for ourselves. We have to plan the timetable in such a way where our teachers can do and implement these kind of skills. Some methods that we generally sometimes get stuck when we don't know how to do it. We know what to do, but sometimes we get stuck how to do it. So these are certain areas, certain parameters, certain activities that we can think of doing in the classroom situation. They can be class discussions. There can be brainstorming. You can throw a topic in the class and you can ask children to discuss and then come out with their answers. We can do role play about a chapter. We can divide the class into small groups and give some small job covering that whole chapter. We can conduct games that gives them the spirit of team, that gives them the spirit of judgment. Then you can give them certain situations where they are supposed to analyze it. And we can also give them in their own societies and localities, we can give them to work on some case studies, then short storytelling, painting, dance, quiz. We can give them prepare out of a chapter. We can paragraph wise, we can take out 10, 20. Each line, we can make one question and make a questionnaire and let the child go home and solve that questionnaire. We can inculcate the drama skills into the children. They can represent what they have learned. They can represent that through drama, jingle making, and rap song making. They can do all these activities. Teachers can plan. CBSE has explained in very details, and my friend is also going to share about the activities, how to conduct and what all to conduct and how to manage during the school, the same in coming time. So after that, as you all know, that CBSE is also conducting a lot of competitions based on these skills, not today, but before also. Many years they have been doing, art integration has just been introduced, but they have been planning for this long back. They are making experiential learning, mandatory pedagogy. They are doing Heritage India quiz. CBSE is organizing science exhibition, art exhibition. They are planning, they are giving the exposure for the Aryabhat Ganit challenges. They are inculcating the reading challenges. They are giving students a chance to participate for science promotion tests. The Fit India movement has recently come past 2 years. I think Khelo India has been organized. So they if you ask me, CBSE is really, they are giving us everything on a platter, right? It is we who have to eat it, and how we eat it is our choice. So I would just like to say that these are the certain kind of activities that can promote 21st century skills. After this, I think my friend Sushma will take on further. These are the very, very precise, you can say, ideas and little explanation that I could manage in 20-25 minutes, because that is how we divided the time. So I hope you have got some insight, little this thing, but believe you me, you will have to go through this manual personally, right? And you will connect with what all I have spoken today. You will connect very clearly, not going through the manual only, but implement them in your classroom situation. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I end my session here. So I would request Deepa to invite Sushma. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sadhna ma'am, for explaining such a large content in brief and concise manner. The component of 21st century skills like learning, literacy, and life skill. Definitely, we will take the platter which you serve to us, and definitely we will follow whatever guidelines are given by you or CBSE. Experiential learning, definitely we will do. Thank you so much. Now I welcome Dr. Sushma Malik. She has been in education field since 34 years and presently principal at RAN International School, Noida Extension. Ma'am, I wholeheartedly welcome you. The dice is yours. Now you can enlighten us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you everyone. And I would just want to say that I'm going to take you through some slides, through a little journey of slides, wherein we could refresh our memories. All of us are principals, are educators, and know most of the skills and how important they are, that they should be inculcated into everybody's personality so that it enhances their personality and their social existence. Because without these skills, I think even a potter, how he masters the art of pottery, a juggler, how he masters the art of jugglery, that makes him more skilled. And we always want skilled craftsmen, So that is why skilled teachers are required, wherein they have very good communication skills, they are vocal, they have that aptitude, and they have that attitude of teaching and transacting skills. We say curriculum transacting skills are mandatory for all the teachers. And I suppose all principals would agree here that we need teachers, who have attained more. See, most of us have all these skills that are mentioned in the CBSE manual in some ratio proportion. But for some professions, we need to enhance the certain areas that are there for these skills, so that we can carry out with the profession, whatever profession we are in, so that we can manage the profession very beautifully. Now, what is a skill? Doing something very nicely, being very good at something is a skill. So like the examples that I took with you of a potter or a juggler, and a teacher, of course, over the years, she too gains experience, and that we are all principals now. I think we were a little on a higher notch than the others. That is why we are here at this position. And everybody in the education field, aspires to be the highest post. That's a principal in a school. Every teacher inspires somewhere, down the line, that they would also love to be a principal of a school someday. So for that, we need to enhance a lot of skills, which we are going to talk about. Some of you might already be having a few, but as I mentioned, they may be in some ratio proportion. All right. Now I'll start sharing my screen also. Just give me some time. In a while, you will see the screen, and as I have shared with you, that skill is the ability to do something in a very nice way, in a good way, in a perfect way. So we need to acquire a few skills, to survive this 21st century. I think we are from that era, you know, wherein we began with the no TV at all, then a TV with one channel, and then with now with multiple channels. And when we were learning how to do Microsoft, you know, when it came in first, we were trained, and now to multiple mediums in the digital era, which is very important to for survival in any field nowadays. So and what is thinking? When we say critical thinking, the first skill that I would like to talk about is the critical thinking. Critical, why? When there is a critical thinker, you know, there is all these questions which start with the W family. Why, where, how, what? You know, we would like to understand that why are we doing it, where will it happen, you know, and who will be responsible for this. So all the questions that are there, that what's happening around, why is it important, what do I see in this for myself, and how do I know who's saying it. All these questions are, you know, very important to a critical thinker. And I think all of us as educators know that why critical thinking is very important, because as we take our children through the curriculum, all of us would love to have our children, you know, ask us questions, because questioning is an art, and the answers that come in through questioning, I think, makes understanding more easy and clear. So now when these thoughts are all channelized, you know, and used properly to understand, analyze, interpret, and reach a conclusion, then it can be seen as a thinking skill. Now, when I talk about thinking skill, I move on to the all-inclusive list of skills that we are going to talk about. First is the critical thinking that I was talking to you about, creativity and innovation, collaboration and communication, info media and technology literacy, flexibility and adaptability, leadership and responsibility, initiative and self-direction, productivity and accountability, social and cross-cultural interaction. So this is the all-inclusive list of skills that we will be, I'll be taking you through these slides. The first one is the critical thinking. As we all know that, critical thinking is crucial to exploring and understanding the world we live in. I think we've done a lot of critical thinking during this pandemic situation also, because this pandemic has made us think and realize a lot of things which are, which are essential for survival. Why we should be taking precautions, who should we be listening to, the authorities or the government guidelines, or to our parents or to our family members. All this has, an opportunity for us to think critically, that why is it that we are taking all these precautions and keeping safe. We all know there is no treatment for it. That is why we are more cautious, and that is why the schools are all closed. And it is making us think that once the schools open, what will happen next? How are we going to go forward with the curriculum transaction in the schools? What precautions are we going to take for the safety and hygiene of our children? So this is all critical thinking. Critical thinkers, actually, they think critically and rationally, and make logical connections between ideas. If there is an idea, we think of pros and cons as leaders. Okay, one idea comes in from here, and then what do? Do I have to think about the pros and cons, and then somewhere in between I settle down. Okay, this is fine with me, my school, where I exist as a school, the surroundings, the gentry that I have. We take a lot of pros and cons into consideration while we are formulating a lot of rules and regulations also for our school once we have a school in place. Now, what critical thinkers ask the world is, what's happening? How do I know? Who's saying it? And why is it important? What else? And what is it that I don't see and others could see, So these are the questions that would always come in from a critical thinker. And I think these days it is very, very important that we all take into considerations a lot of things, even for the minutest of, a topic that we cater to. Now, when I talk about critical thinking skills, this is all Bloom's taxonomy. You must be seeing there is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. All of us know, as we are all educators, we all know that these are, critical thinking skills. We need to include these skills so that our children can develop the potential through the Bloom's taxonomy of analyzing and use them as in application, the facts and rules and principles, and everything else that is, portrayed on the screen, I think is all essential when it comes to curriculum transaction. And when our teachers are planning for their lesson plans, they need to see that what part of the Bloom's taxonomy can be there, or the maximum definitions of knowledge, comprehension, applications, and analysis, synthesis, and evaluation are there. Now, next we talk about creativity and innovation. This is also a very important skill once again. Now, what is creativity? When we come to this, it is about creativity is a combinatorial force. It's our ability to tap into our inner pool of resources, knowledge, insight, information, inspiration, and all the fragments populating our minds that we have accumulated over the years just by being present and alive and awake to the world, and to combine them into extraordinary new ways. This is said by Maria Popova. This is from Brain Pickings that I took this slide from, and wanted to share with you, because it is an amalgamation of all skills together. When we talk about creativity, we say this teacher is very creative in planning the lesson plans. This teacher is very innovative. She would resource things from nowhere and would transact the curriculum even when the aids are not present, when teaching aids are not there. Even then she can manage to take a class which is beautifully understood and enjoyed by the students. So this is what a creative and an innovative teacher is all about. Enabling creativity, when we say creative space, every teacher says that I need that creative space. I would share an incident here. We had a theater personality, when we would plan our annual function, he would say that, ma'am, I'm a creative person. If you tell me to give the theme of the annual function tomorrow, I won't be able to do that, because it may take an hour for me to give you a theme. It may take me 10 days also. So I need that kind of time. So a creative person, uses his own mind, doesn't copy anything, and is very original in bringing and coming out with ideas. So image talk. Some people learn visually spaced. When they see something, something strikes them, and they are ready with their ideas. A scamper, I would be explaining in the next slide what is scamper all about. Then alternative ways of learning a lesson. As we all know that there are different kinds of multiple intelligences as propagated by Howard Gardner, and we all know what are these multiple intelligences all about. Initially, when we were studying, nobody bothered to even bother that whether we were spatial learners, whether we were whether we were the kind of learners who could see and learn, we're visual learners, or we were the all kind of learners that we talk about. Now, wrong is right and right is wrong. It could be seen as right. Wrong is always wrong, can be always done and taken up as a right thing. We can always alter that. Now, when I was talking to you about scamper, is this a mnemonic that stands for scamper is for substitute, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, reverse. It could be, various activities could be taken up in a class wherein we could use a scamper, and teachers can actually plan to transact the curriculum in the way that they can, put to use all these tangents. Now, the next skill is about collaboration. As we all know that collaboration is a working practice whereby individuals work together with a common purpose. Now, we are all collaborating to enhance our learning skills and for value addition. We all know these skills. We all have read the manuals, but it is just a recapitulation that we are doing, refreshing our skills so that when the school starts, we are all ready to put in all these skills into practice with the children. And we ask our teachers also to involve children in developing all these skills, because a school is the right place, I think, for developing all these skills. Because today just education or just a degree is, I think, is not that important. Why are there visual interviews these days, physical interviews these days? Initially there was an examination, you cleared a test and you got a job. That was it about. But now we see the attitude and the aptitude of a person, the way he or she conducts himself in an interview, what kind of skills he or she possesses. So it's all about skills these days. So the more skills you master, the more successful you become in your life or in your professions. So collaboration enables individuals to work together to achieve a defined and common purpose. Now, why are we all here at this Sahodaya platform? We're all here for a purpose, for an objective, wherein we are going to refresh and recapitulate all that is written in the CBSE manuals, as we are all affiliated to CBSE. So we need to follow the guidelines and the rules and regulations of CBSE, which has so beautifully combined and put up a manual for all of us, so that we don't have to scamper here and there for things. It is all there in a handbook with us. Now, the collaborative enablers, in the classroom, the teachers are doing a lot of group activities, and they can plan a lot of games. It is not necessary that the children have always to be in the four walls. teaching can happen anywhere and everywhere. For me, like I always share whenever I'm taking a training that like 80% is that what I see, I practice. 20% was from the textbooks that I learned, in whole of my education career. And now it is learned by seeing. I look at people, how they do things, I am a very good observer that ways. I observe things when others are doing, and then incorporate into my own into my own schedule when I am in school. And I can even learn from a peon a thing or two, about the punctuality, about sincerity, about honesty. So all these things do matter. So the practically what you see, that is called experiential learning, which we'll be taking in the next few sessions also. And I think most of it comes from experience. So children, what they do, what they learn more from textbooks and books. So as it is, even now they have books at home. And why are we all wanting our children back to school? Because we know that learning happens in the school environment more than anywhere else. At this age, they need that kind of an environment wherein it is all positive reinforcement of all these values and skills. So there could be chain games, there could be hands-on project and dumb charades, and that we play, collaboratively and enjoy doing things with members. Now, next comes in the most important skill of all, that is communication. We all know that there are teachers in school, there are children in the classroom, who are very good at scoring, but they are not very communicative. When it comes to communication or speaking up, they are the ones who have all kinds of inhibitions and they don't want to speak, or they are not that well conversant with the vocabulary, maybe at a lower level. And when we ask them that why don't you speak up, that he feels shy, or is what you can say is at times with a lot of children in the classroom, they make fun of the child, so they don't want to come up with their answers, thinking that maybe I may be wrong and they will laugh at me. So it is very important that we develop these children with good communication skills. So whatever it is, good or bad, should be communicated to the right person at the right time and addressed immediately by the teacher, by the concerned teacher, so that the child starts feeling that confidence, that if I speak up, yes, people hear me, give me importance, and I am also an individual in myself, and whatever I say may be wrong or right, but there are people who can correct me. So you never know when a moment and a few sincere words can have an impact on a life. Like there was a teacher of mine, who always said, I know, Sushma, you would excel in your life. You would do very well because I can see that coming across to me when you talk. So, and until date, I remember her words exactly the way she said it. So you never know what kind of an impact the words make on you, and for how long you carry those words with you. Like if you scold a person, in somebody's presence, so that person may keep that thing for 5 minutes. Some may keep it for 5 days, some for 5 weeks, some for 5 years, and maybe some for the whole of their lives. Because the words have that kind of an impact. You never forget what is said. You can forgive, but you never forget, as they say. So a well-timed positive word or a compliment can change the course of someone's day. And make sure that your teachers, as principals, I would always love to say this, that if you've scolded somebody, if you're annoyed with somebody during the daytime, just make sure that before they go home, you just have a word with them, that they do not go with that heavy heart, and for days together. So that is very important, that we, have this kind of a link, that communication link that doesn't snap anywhere. Because if the link snaps, then, that teacher would never come back to you or talk to you about something important, even important. She would just restrict herself to her teaching and she'll go back home. So what is important is that you create that connect, and that can only be created by communication. So this is the Aristotle model of communication, which I love the slide from Google. I just took it from there. And Zig Ziglar, I'm a very big fan of Zig Ziglar, and I took up this slide for all of you. Now that we have essential elements to enrich communication skills, how do we enrich? When we talk, our words should be heard. Some people are there, they talk very softly. You can't hear what they are saying. So it becomes like Chinese whisper. They told you something, and you extract some other meaning from it, and as they end up playing Chinese whispers, something was said initially, and then when it comes to the last person, it is something else. So it is all distorted information that goes to the last person. So there are non-verbal communications, as we talk about. Non-verbal is without speaking, with your expressions, with there is as you say, there's a body language, the way you say, just saying a person asking for permission at your door, and when you say, come in, and when you say it softly, the other person feels welcomed. And when you say, come in, so that tone, that harsh tone, it's not that, yes, I am an unwanted guest, she's too busy and occupied, she won't talk to me properly. So that tone sets the next action that will happen. And you're clear in what you are saying. At times, principals, they're like, they use half words. Okay, do this. Do what? Do what? They keep asking you. Ma'am said you have to do this, but what? There's a whole list of things that we have to do, but what is it that she exactly wants right now to be done? So you need to be very clear, even with the teachers, do this homework, so and so, this is, children are all confused. Do we do all the sums? Do we do only a few? Or how do we do them? Where do we do them? In the homework notebook, in the classwork? So you need to be very, very clear in your speech as well. Clarity is very, very important again when you're communicating to somebody. Being concise, to the point. Some people, some teachers, some individuals have a habit of they'll keep beating around the bush. And they will not come to the point what they want, So it happens. हाँ ऐसे कर लेना, ऐसे हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, this, अरे क्या करना क्या है, they would say, पता नहीं यार, इतना कुछ बोला पर पता नहीं, समझ कुछ नहीं आया. So there are children in the classroom also.
Yes,
The teacher, once I asked my daughter when she was at DPS in class 9th, I asked, how's your English teacher? We've employed her. So she said, she's very good, but I didn't understand anything. I said, then how is she good? She said, she was very fast in her communication. She felt that we know all the vocabulary in the English that exists in the world and the dictionary. And she used such difficult words. Everything was a fly past. And we couldn't understand a thing, but she is very good. Then how is she good? If you don't understand it, you can't make your children understand. I think we have to be very reasonable. Personable, when we say personable, with some people, you have that connect, maybe in the school, in the family members, where you have to be personal at times. To bring that person around, at times you have to get personal with that person. So that's very important. Again, patience. Some people have a habit of pulling a long conversation, and the end result is that he just wanted to say that I finished my work and it is submitted. But what happens? We lose our patience and come out. You feel like pulling those words out of the mouth, at times. Kitna slow bolte hai. Like usually, no offense to anybody, but mostly the Biharis, what they do? Hum aa rahe hain, ja rahe hain, kha rahe. बहुत स्लो बोलेंगे, तो ऐसा लगता है यार ये इतना बोलने के लिए इतना टाइम लेता है, एंड वो पेशेंस लूज कर जाते हैं हम, क्योंकि वी आर अ फास्ट जनरेशन, वी वांट एवरीथिंग क्विक, that ways. And now next skill is also very important when we talk about information, media and technology literacy. We are all into the digital era, and whether we like it or not, we are using the technology. When we talk about technological integration in education, this is all technological integration only which we are doing right now. We are all meeting each other. I think I love this fact of the pandemic is that we've all started connecting and knowing each other more than ever. When we had physical schools, I think we did not have that kind of time, to talk to people, to get to know each other. And we are all busy in our lives till 5 or 6, the school was there at the back of the mind 24/7. But now I think I really welcome the Zoom and the other portals that we have for communicating with each other right now. And we also all owe it to Deepti ma'am also, that she wanted all of us to connect together and refresh our memories. See, we all know what I am explaining to you, but it is only that we are refreshing and some value addition will be there and then we'll remember for some time again. So every time we have to recapitulate whatever is being written in the documents. We don't read those documents every day, of course. So people in the 21st century live in a technology and media suffused environment marked by various characteristics, including access to an abundance of information. There is a whole lot of information on the Google, Google Baba, Google Guru. There is so much. But we need not believe everything that is there on Google. At times, Google also may be wrong because whatever information has been put on that portal, it is all put by human beings. Isn't it? So humans are, there to err, as they say. Humans can make mistakes. So never believe anything that is already there on Google. So always cross-check facts. That is very, very important again. Now when I talk about rapid changes in technology tools, now we have Zoom, Maybe after a few days, we'll have those customized apps, will be developed, and they're in the process. They're in the process. We never ever imagined, that there would be courses to develop apps, and app developing would become a profession someday. Chips would become a profession someday. Initially, we had those CDs, those cassettes which we called, and then the CDs came in, and now they're pen drives, and there are hordes of other things. The technology is rapidly changing, and we also rapidly need to adapt to these changes. Now, they make individual contributions on an unprecedented scale. This is again very important, that everybody collaborates and learns, as is the we can say what exists with Sahodaya is we all learn, share, and rise together. Knowledge is all about sharing and learning with each other. I think you should never keep your knowledge to yourself, because all gurus have done that. They have always, Vidya Dan is a Mahan Dan, I think, which can happen. And we also feel so peaceful, after transacting with children, communicating with children, we feel that yes, we are in a profession which is called the noblest of all professions, and we should take pride in what we do. Now, to be effective in the 21st century, citizens and workers must be able to exhibit a range of functional and critical thinking skills related to information, media, and technology. It is not just about books, that you have bookish knowledge and you can survive in this world today. No, you cannot, because the teacher, like I was in a college, I was in the selection panel in a degree college, and there were assistant professors and assistant professors who were like about to retire now, and they are the ones, अब सीख के क्या करेंगे मैडम, अब तो बहुत हो गया. मैंने कहा जितने दिन भी हैं इसके बगैर नहीं होगा. अभी ऑनलाइन डिग्री कॉलेजेस में भी they are going online, so you will have to learn it anyways. They will train you for that. But some have their own inhibitions and they feel that they cannot learn. But technology, I think, is a simple thing to learn, and we've all adapted it, whether we liked it or not. Initially, everybody said, how do we go online, this and that. But I think every school now is online and giving education. The schools are closed, but the education is never closed. Teachers are doing their bit. They have thrown open everything, to the children, their homes, their living rooms, drawing rooms, their time, everything. I think they are doing more than their bit, what they were doing in school initially. So that was also there. Now we come that, yes, I am a digital citizen. We can say that proudly. I'm inclusive. I engage with others online, that the way I'm doing with you now. So we are all inclusive.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable instructions.
Then we
Thanks
are all
a lot,
Pooja
ma'am.
ma'am, Pooja ma'am, will you please mute yourself? Don't disturb between the talk.
Yeah, please, that I lose track of my, content. Then I'm informed, I'm engaged, I'm balanced, I'm alert. So digitalization teaches you to be inclusive, informed, engaged, balanced, and alert all the time. You get mails, through mails you learn so much. All the information is passed through mails from one end to the other to the children. There are portals for children also, wherein we upload the homework and we keep a connect with the children and keep sending messages and circulars there. Now, engaging through such practices, we have designed apps and blogs and websites and PPTs and all the know-how that is there. We can learn from Google, we can learn from YouTube how to use such apps, and we teach and learn and then copy and replicate the same to the others also. Next comes in the sixth skill, flexibility and adaptability. I really love this slide wherein you see that the other snails are all on the ground and one of them has learned to fly. So acquired skills, these are known as acquired skills, because the dinosaurs couldn't adapt to the current, things. That is why they perished. They are no more there. But the other animals who adapted and were flexible to the changes and were willing to do that willingly, they are all surviving. So it is all a survival matter. If you want to survive in this ever-changing world, I think your adaptability or your willingness to confront or change your own ideas and perceptions is very important. Again, flexibility is more of a willingness to meet others halfway procedurally. I come halfway, you come halfway, and we all meet and settle things there. So that is flexibility. Now, encourage change through different uses of household items, because Poonam ma'am is going to take up all the activities for enhancing these skills. So I will not elaborate too much on that. I've just made a slide here, making of new games, shuffling and all. Through these, you can teach them flexibility and adaptation. Now, when I talk about flipped classrooms, we can have flipped classrooms, you're going online. Initially, we had a sage on stage. Whatever the teacher said was the last word in the class. But we need a guide by the side now. There is no sage on stage concept now. It is all about we are student focused now, student centered. Initially it was teacher centered education, now it is student centered. So the classroom, the role of the teacher has also changed from a sage on stage to guide on the side. So this is the concept of flipped classrooms. That, when we said sage on stage, that was a traditional classroom. When I say flipped classrooms, it could be an online classroom when the teacher, wherein the children can screen share a PPT and take a whole online session. Leadership and responsibility. Now this slide is very visually beautiful in the sense that we have Bill Gates there. They're all functional leaders. They are not those kind of leaders that they don't walk the talk. They lead the way. They do it themselves and then the others follow. They never wanted fame and name for themselves. These were the ones, who created things because they were innovative. They could think ahead of all the others and took up their roles, according to their potential, and lived their life as saints and led others. Now, leadership is not a license to do less. If I am the principal of a school, that doesn't mean that I am the one who will delegate everything to the others and my job is done. No, it is that I have taken this role because it is a responsibility to do more. I am all the time wanting that what could I bring into the school which could help my teachers, and how can I enhance my teacher skills? What topic should I take up to train my teachers? What is the need-based training that I need for my people? So that, when we were talking about, when Devika ma'am was talking for the 3 days, about high-performing schools, I completely agree to all that she said, that we do as leaders, as leaders, we can never rest, never rest. So it is not a license to do less, as it is written here. It is a responsibility to do more. And 5 more ways to empower student leaders. How do you, why do we have these, leaders in the school, a head girl or a head boy? Because we want to teach them the roles that they would have to take on in their lives when they are out of the school. Leadership roles. We take leadership trainings for our children, wherein, and we give them exposure to go and train themselves, and we give them responsibilities in the school, and we give them a lot of opportunities in the school, wherein they can use that potential, know how to do things, make a procedure, a plan, an execution plan, so that they can follow that procedure and plan and do that project successfully. The next I talk about initiative and self-direction, which is very, very important, which is very mandatory. If somebody wants to lead a school, lead a pack, lead, if you have a team, you have to be a team player and you have to take initiatives. You can't say, "Ye to mujhe pata nahi hai, main kaise karungi," and you see, when you are talking to your team, you are an epitome of knowledge for them. You are an epitome of experiences that you've had. When I talk of 34 years, people expect that, ma'am is having 34 years of experience, so we should learn from her. So in that situation, when I take up a training, I motivate people to take initiatives. Some people never want to come out of their comfort zones, because if you do not come out of your comfort zones, you are never going to achieve anything in your life. So that is very important. Again, self-directed and self-motivation is very, very important again. So you have to manage your goals and times and work independently and be self-directed. Self-directed, that you don't have to depend on somebody else's direction. If you have to take a decision as a leader for some important emergency situation, you cannot wait for somebody else's opinion on that. You have to go straight forward and just do it right away, because you feel that was the right the most appropriate thing, the most appropriate action at that time in an emergency situation. So leaders, are always there to take initiatives, and they are self-directed and self-motivated as well. And now we next, a student transition from school to careers, it is important that they understand that importance of knowing what it is that they want and having self-direction. This is not only true when it comes to careers, but essential skills for life. What have we learned? What skills have we learned during the pandemic? I think during the pandemic, we've all learned how to survive.
Whatever has been explained.
Importance of learning to manage goals and time, work independently, be self-directed learners, and the 9th skill we have is a productivity and accountability. For whatever we do, we just think of productivity, that if I do these actions, what would be the end result? What would be the learning outcome? What will be the product that will be created? What is the goal that is to be met? So you have to have the ability to create a product using all these skills, setting and meeting goals, whatever goals you have set. Because if you don't have a goal, then you don't do any actions. So there is a certain goal, you have pre-assessment, you have a final assessment, you have you have the result to be declared, you have an activity to be conducted, an event to be organized. So you have to set a goal. By so and so date, I'll be through with these. Then accountability and productivity are interconnected, as we all know, because accountability is taking a role in the creation of a product and taking responsibility for the performance of a product. So again, accountability and creativity and responsibility all go together. The application, you have research based projects for children, you have student accountability projects, in your school. So I won't elaborate much on these. They are self-explanatory. Then the last skill that we have, the most important, rather I would say, not the last, social and cross-cultural interaction. All of us in schools, as leaders, strive that we give an international exposure to our children. They meet children from other cultures and they become global citizens of the world. We don't restrict them only as Indian citizens. Again, and we have these exchange programs for children with various countries. You can have it where you can, to begin with, you can have it various states. You can collaborate with schools down south and in the west and east. So you can. It is not that you have to call foreign children only to give them an exposure, because most of the children are not even able to move out of Uttar Pradesh. Let me tell you that, given the background that they come from, nobody bothers to give them that kind of exposure. So we can always begin with the community, and then they could go to states, and then you can go internationally also, if you have the resources, and the management of course has to agree to all these things. uh, Now these are all the social skills activities which we have. The emotional charades that you can play, face it, relay culture, social circle time. And I thank Deepthi ma'am and all the educators who are present here, all the August gathering that is there. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to give you my opinions about what 21st century skills are. Thank you once again, Deepa ma'am, who's the moderator for today, and all the other educators. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am has started her session with very beautiful example of pottler, juggler, and teachers. Actually, they are the persons with the skill to shape anything. And whatever skill education ma'am has given, explained that we have to follow post-COVID with new normal. So I just want to summarize it in 4 points. We have to integrate technology into a wide range of subject areas and grade levels for all type of technology setup. Again, we have to identify ways students can think critically, communicate with one another, collaborate as team, and be creative with the use of technology. Third one, we have to provide suggestions of the technology ideas along the SAMR, which stands for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition, ladder beyond substitution. Develop a toolkit of media and virtual website resources. These are all new normal in post-COVID. Thank you so much, Sushma ma'am. Thank you so much. It was really an enlightening session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I welcome Dr. Poonam Minhas ma'am. She is the director. She is doctorate in history and being in education since last 28 years. Currently principal at Fortune World School, Noida. Ma'am, the dice is all yours. Most welcome.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening me on all these issues. And let me tell you one thing, maximum has been covered. But yes, my part is on the 21st century skills, how CBSE has been implementing, and now what is the future, how we can work upon it. So let me tell you one thing, that these 21st century skill has become an important and integral part of our education system. And today education is not just educating children, but it comes to how we can give them hands-on experiential learning, how we can inculcate in them the value of creativity, collaboration, getting social, so that they become successful citizens. So that is the main purpose of this whole project. So I will be sharing my PPT with you all. Yes. Okay, so this is 21st century skills, and we are going to talk about how today students can study competitive and stay competitive in the changing job market. So how these 21st century skills can inculcate different kinds of skills so that they become very easily they get their sources of livelihood. So we, ma'am, have already spoken about these 3 L, that is the learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. And all these skills have been incorporated here together to make you very clear that these 12 skills, if these are inculcated and are the part of our lesson plan system, we have to, as teachers, we have to see that we are covering one or the other part of these skills, and then we can work upon our future students. So basically this is about the facilitation methods to develop 21st century skills, which CBSE has used till now, and in which there have been class discussion, brainstorming, role play, buzz group, games and simulations, situation analysis and case studies, debate, storytelling, painting, dance, quiz, questionnaire. This they have already always been telling in their manuals that teachers need to incorporate all these activities in their lesson plan while teaching children, so that the children should get hands-on experiential learning. Now we come to the new innovative technique teaching methods which has been introduced by CBSE, and they are focusing a lot, that is yoga and classical texts. So my main motive is to tell you how we can do all these things. Now yoga and classical texts is basically to give mental, spiritual and physical practice to the children so that they are able to focus. So the teachers, they can conduct regular yoga classes, they can start with simple yoga exercises and gradually increase the level of yoga. You can take the students to a calm and open space devoid of any kind of distraction. And lastly, it is explain the benefit of each and every exercise and integrate with other subjects like science and maths. This is quite interesting to generate the interest of the children. This is how we can do, like we can incorporate interdisciplinary subjects like science and maths while doing yoga, and can tell them that what kind of angle, 45-degree angle or 90-degree angle, or maybe how they can, like what part of the body is being affected by this particular kind of exercise, which muscle is having an effect. So the benefit of this is of this yoga will be, it increase flexibility, management, etc. So this is how this yoga is going to help the students. Next come meditation, which is again a part of yoga, and basically we should encourage students to sit in complete silence with eyes closed and bring awareness to the creative activity at hand. So basically this can be done by every teacher in the class. When they go to the class for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, they can tell the students to sit quietly, fold their hands, close their eyes, and they can just meditate that what is the purpose of coming to the school, why they are there, what are they going to learn. So this is how it will help the children to focus. It will bring happiness, it will reduce stress, it will improve concentration and encourage and compassion, etc. among the children. The next thing which CBSE is encouraging, that is the jingle, just a minute. Okay. It is jingle making and rap song. As you know, nowadays rap songs are very, very popular among the students. They really love to do that. So the teachers, how they can do that, they can form the group of the students on the basis of mutual interest among the students to create jingles or rap songs, and then divide the task like writing of the lyrics, themes, composing of music, etc. among the group members. So they can tell which group will write the lyrics, who will make the music, who will compose the music, organize events to keep their motivation level high and reach out to the masses. They can take such themes which are related to the society, like cleanliness, like COVID, how we can save ourselves. And you must have seen that nowadays many schools, they are displaying the songs and raps in the Facebook also, different schools are giving, that is being made by the school and the children themselves. So it will help in bringing creativity and things will become very easy to learn. So that is there. The next CBSE says puppetry. Now puppetry is very helpful because, sorry, just a minute. So puppetry is one thing which can help the students, to encourage students to be creative with the making of the puppets by using different arts and craft material or waste material, arrange workshops to learn the art of communication through puppetry, because communication will automatically come. You see that all these activities are related to all those skills which we have been listening till now. It will indulge students to making short plays or performance on various themes. So this will also help the students to how they can take up different themes and introspect themselves also, and to make people also aware, and learning will also become easy for them. So puppetry is a form of performance art which can help in highlighting various mental health, social and peer related issues. Next we come to literature. Now if you see about literature, so in literature basically various books and novels can be made available to the students for reading, explain the meaning of the text and help the students relate to the real life situation, encourage to read and enact in group in order to understand better. As Devika ma'am yesterday told us, dear, that is drop everything and read. Now reading is, again, if you see, is a very important aspect of human life. I must say that each one of us should read if you really want to grow. So it will improve the vocabulary, it will improve writing skills, it will improve communication skills, social skills, leadership skills, thinking skills, and creativity. So just with reading, if you see how many things are being incorporated, and children will really improve. Next come to the drama, which CBSE says, and how we can do that is to encourage to enact any of the literature lesson, social issues, or any theme they wish to. Then guidance can be provided by the teacher while forming a play, character roles, etc. Encourage to impress their feeling, thoughts, and emotions through this medium. They will learn the language, they will learn communication. So as it has been said by Benjamin Franklin, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So that is there, that if you keep involving children, automatically the children will be learning the theme very well. Next comes singing. Singing is very popular among the children. It encourages the students to put their thought and ideas into song or music. You can provide various themes to the students, like COVID is a theme nowadays, very popular among the schools, and many songs are being made by the children. Then motivate students to take part in events and express themselves through singing. So children can express their feelings, as it is said that music is the strongest form of magic. So that is that music create magic among the children, and it really helps the students to understand well. Next, we come to another part of CBSE activities to promote 21st. What CBSE is, what kind of activities are being organized by CBSE to promote these skills. Mandatory art integration. So CBSE says that art has to be integrated with the education. We cannot say art has to do nothing with the education or learning, but if you see that collaboration between the teaching of subject with the teaching of art, like for example, mathematical dimensions of the painting of Mona Lisa. I attended this workshop where a mathematician, they explained us that how Mona Lisa has been painted, and what are the mathematical dimensions of her face, why she looks so beautiful. So it encouraged creativity, collaboration, social skill among students. If we incorporate art with teaching, you will see that it will bring creativity among the students. Next, CBSE have been organizing, they are making experimental learning as mandatory pedagogy. So it has become a hands-on experiential learning is a mandatory pedagogy, basically, if you see, and making learning joyful. It engages the students, it will make their learning also joyful, and say at the same time connect them to the real life situation. So it will, if we do this, it will develop problem solving, communication, and critical thinking skills of the students. Next, we come to the Heritage India Quiz. Ma'am have already spoken about this, that quiz are being organized by CBSE to promote interest and desire among the students to learn and appreciate the history, tourism, and sharing the vast cultural heritage of our country, because quiz is from all walk of life. So children, they go through all the historical event and something history and tourism and all these cultural aspect of country are very important, which help the students to become critical thinker, to find answers to the quiz questions, as well as promote social cultural awareness among the students. CBSE is also organizing science exhibition to encourage students to demonstrate such learning that encourage construction of knowledge by connecting new ideas to existing concepts. That what is existing today, they can add to on those concepts with new ideas. So that will also develop literacy, creativity, and critical thinking skills among the students. Then they talk about art exhibitions, which are being organized, inter-school art exhibitions, where to generate interest of the students to in the vast Indian culture. It encourages students to create art forms from eco-friendly products. So these kinds of exhibitions will definitely again bring the thinking and creativity, communication and collaboration skills, because children will be getting together at one place, working in different dimensions. So that will also help out the students to work collaboratively. Next, we come to the CBSE storytelling competition, which CBSE have been organizing to enable children to present subject, topic, and concept through stories. And let me tell you one thing, it becomes so easy through stories to explain different types of concepts. So again, this developed creative thinking, listening, writing, appreciation, and communication skills. Next, they talk about Aryabhat Ganit Challenge. This is also being organized. It's an online test in which children think and relate mathematical problems to the real life problems. So which will develop analytical problem solving and critical thinking skills. This is also an online test which is being organized by CBSE. Then Reading Challenge. That this is an event which encourage quality of reading among, not only among students. We can organize such event in the school where we can tell all the teachers and the students, even the class 4, to sit and study at least one small story or a newspaper for a while. And this activity can be done, and which really develop the critical thinking, problem solving, and creative skill among the students. Then CBSE right now is focusing a lot on skill education, and different subjects like artificial intelligence, yoga, etc. has been introduced by CBSE to focus on these skills of education. Creative and critical thinking skills have, and in this to make this creative and critical thinking skills develop among the students, the board releases 5 questions weekly to test the creative ability of the children for problem solving, and this is the link given below. So every day they give 5 challenging questions where the children can solve those questions and submit their answers. Then the science promotion test is also being conducted by CBSE, which aims to encourage students to connect the science curriculum areas to real life situation, and students' ability to think rationally and critically will be assessed. So here also the science promotion test, this also helps the students to develop their thinking skills. Fit School and Fit School Week. Now, this is to support government project of Fit India, which CBSE is supporting that, and in this, they are activities are being organized to help children to remain fit physically and mentally. And recently, we have been celebrating this Yoga Day. So all that has been done by CBSE to inculcate healthy learning among the children. Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat, again this was a government project of Ekta Divas, and which aims to foster national integration and understand each other's culture and respect each other's differences while integrating and imbibing cultural collaboration. This is something very important in India, especially where we are of multicultural, multilingual people are living together. So in that kind of thing, this cultural collaboration becomes very important for us. Then CBSE is also giving this CBSE expression series. It's an online competition aiming to improve inquiry, communication skills, evaluation and analysis skills, and digital literacy among the children. So this is also being organized by CBSE. So all this, after doing all the study, what I found out that basically there are three ways of thinking about teaching for the teachers: teaching skills, teaching models, and teaching relationship. If we all put together all these things and we come to a reflection, so what it is, this 12 skills we spoke about, learning skills, literary skills, and life skills, they all will collaborate. So when we are making our list, to focus on all these skills, that how and why we should incorporate skills in our teaching. Now, before ending my presentation, this is a small short documentary which I would like to show you. And in this documentary, I met this person named Shreyansh. He was a boy in Mayo College, and very normal boy, and with a not a very intelligent person, a very normal child. And this boy have started with the screen. I just want to show you that how creativity works. I'll just share this screen with you.
Major problem that's the way to make it landfill. Not just our problem, people. When landfills, like millions of people don't have a way of it. So that was the basic problem which led us to the idea of recycling them, recycling old shoes to slippers, and then we formed the social enterprise. Shoes come to us from all over India, from individuals, corporates, schools, and once the shoes reach here, about 5,000 to 6,000 pairs are collected each month on average. We upcycle them into slippers, we dismantle them, we utilize the soles, we utilize some parts of the uppers and upcycle it to the minimum slipper. And then through corporate sponsorship, it's donated to wherever the requirement is, anywhere. So total we have donated about 72,000 pairs till now, and we've partnered with over 40 plus corporate companies. They're from various backgrounds, from IT, textile, sports companies are there. And these slippers, they go primarily to children in rural India, to the schools there. And it helps them in education, it helps them in walking to schools. So overall, Greensole has a lot of benefits in terms of protecting the environment, doing a social good in terms of donating a pair to a child in need, in terms of education, overall hygiene, health. And overall, in terms of carbon emission, roughly about 3.5 lakh pounds of carbon emissions have been saved. We are relaunching our retail range, and it's the same concept, it's the same upcycled footwear, but with some newer materials, some take a fancier pair of upcycled footwear. R&D with a lot of things. We have made bags, belts, posters, pouches, bow ties, a lot of things with using materials which are recycled. At present, we are starting with only recycled slippers and shoes and sort of sandals. Later, we move on to other accessories.
So this was about Green Soul. Here's my whole PPT. At the end, I would like to say, basically, we should prepare our children to think, know, act, and go. That is something very important for us. And this is what we have learned, all of us, from this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Poonam and Has ma'am. Definitely, skill and creativity never goes in vain. Thank you, ma'am, for explaining all 3 L's, learning, literacy, and life skills. Yes, ma'am, definitely yoga and meditation is required to avoid distraction, not for the student, for us also. And moreover, you talked about live classes with group activities, brainstorming activities means teaching beyond chalk and talk. And you touched DEAR also, that drop everything and read. Actually, I'm planning to start this in my school also. I'm planning to give 10 minutes period for DEAR. That will be called as DEAR period, from peon to principal. And even the parents waiting at lobby or reception, they all will have to read. We will provide them books, and 10 minutes, the whole scenario will be only in a reading content.
We celebrated, I can give you an idea. We said
Fine. Huh.
reading in the year where we give the time, and one day before we inform everybody, all the class 4 students, teachers, that they read. And at that point of time, from 9 to 10, we ensure that everyone is sitting doing nothing but just reading.
I'm planning for all the classes now. Even
and even the students. So that whole time was given to the students, to the class 4, to the team. To bottom, everyone was studying at that point of time, reading a book or a
create a reading atmosphere also.
Yes.
And imbibe the habit of reading in all. Thank you so much. Thank you all 3 resource persons. Thank you so much from core of my heart. And now I'll invite our president, Ma'am Deepti Sharma. Please enlighten us with your words.
So I think today's resource person really deserve a round of applause. Round of applause from my side. And I think all of you must agree with me. So wonderful presentation they have given, and the purpose of together learning is really solved. What I was just having a dream. So we are just looking towards that way. So thank you so much. And wonderfully, you all have explained and what the CBSE is demanding from us, and what kind of expectation CBSE is having from the CBSE principals. Really, we will go in deeper in the manual, and definitely we would implement all those activities in our school. I would like to add one thing, that what kind of activities we are mentioning in it is mentioned in the 21st century skill manual. We can do it during the online classes as well.
Yes,
If the manual is talking about collaboration, so definitely Zoom is providing us the breakout room. So with the help of breakout room, we can conduct collaborative critical thinking, analysis, all those, and even we can organize so many competitions online, music competition, dance competitions, painting competitions. So many ideas, what we are planning to implement on like in offline school mode, same we can implement all those things in online mode as well. So it is my humble request to all of you, those who have attended the session today. Your question answers are now welcomed. If you have any kind of questions, so definitely resource persons are available. So you can ask any question to them. So I'm just reading the chat. If you have any question, please, I'll give you the permission to speak out. And some request I would like to make on behalf of Sahodya. Today I found 2 members has entered with the device name. Please, you are not allowed to join the meeting with device name. Please use your own name. Rather, we have sent you the message, still you have not changed. And please put your school name together as well. And I think timely, if we can join the meeting, it would be a grateful, great help for we people. Because if you will leave some session, so you will not get the complete idea what we are trying to give you. So on behalf of Sahodia, I would like to give thank you to my all resource person and all the members of different schools, those who have joined today the session. And next session we are going to host on Monday. And the topic is, Deepa ma'am?
Ma'am, I have to say.
Art integration, I think,
Okay.
or I think art integration will make you confirm in the Sahodia group again. And if you have any kind of question, you can ask. Shikha is asking some question. Okay, Shikha, please unmute yourself and you can ask the question.
Good evening to all. First of all, I would like to thanks to all the resource persons. They have done it wonderfully, and everything was, reciprocated very well. And one more thing I would like to ask to Malik ma'am. Introducingly, she said many more skills about the enhancement or the increment of a teacher's skill. So one of the skill was their transacting skill. I would like to know about the transacting skill. What is a transacting skill, ma'am?
Yeah, Shikha, and it is all about the transacting the curriculum. See, we all prepare lesson plans, and these lesson plans, when they are transacted in the class, some teachers, the way they plan it, with activities and with verbal and with group activities, some chalk and board, is there. So they include a lot of things while they are transacting that content which has been planned. Some of them do it very beautifully. Some of them, they just like those, the ones who are experienced ones, they just go and, they just deliver whatever is there, whatever is in their mind. They don't even follow what they have written in the lesson plan.
Okay.
So I'm talking that whatever is planned, the planning is done beautifully at the end of every teacher. I must tell you this, like when we go for audits, we view a lot of plans. In my school too, I see teachers plan very beautifully. But when it comes to transacting that same content, that is not transacted the way it is planned. So that was all about curriculum transaction.
You got it, ma'am. Privilege, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yeah.
Another thing is that when we are making a lesson plan, we are talking about this transacting skills. So even when we are making our lesson plan, and if we are doing some kind of activity, we can write which skill are we touching upon. Are we touching upon the communication skills or learning skills? Whichever skill are we on, we should focus on that. So we can see that each of our lesson plan can be connected to some or the other skill.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Deepti ma'am, you are muted. Unmute yourself, Deepti ma'am.
Sorry. Now I asked Miss Pooja Sinha, who is trying to interrupt again and again. If you want to say something now, you can put your views. I welcome you. But I again request you, don't like disturb or don't interrupt between the session.
Sorry,
because
again.
it generally... Okay.
First of all,
So
I want to say sorry that I had created a little bit disruption. It was only connectivity issue, and thanks a lot, ma'am, for giving me the privilege to be a part of this webinar. Thank you so much. And sorry for my interruption, which has been happened only by internet issue.
Okay, fine. So once again, thank you all of you, and we'll meet you again on Monday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Deepti ma'am, and all our resource persons.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
you very much.